Hi, I'm Jack Ford, and welcome to American Ed TV, found conveniently right here on Verizon Fios On Demand. American Ed TV, first and only place where you can find all the important stories focusing on the world of education. We bring you the issues and personalities in an entertaining and informative way that helps you understand just how vital it is to see what is really going on in the education industry. Each month, we offer you a selection of the top college lists from the experts at the Princeton Review. American Ed TV, because now more than ever, education matters. Patel Industries is a proud sponsor of American Ed TV.
My name is Rob Franek. I am publisher for Princeton Review Books. I started as a teacher for the Princeton Review, teaching students how to take the SAT and the ACT, and I think I'm finally getting some of the answers right. How do we as a community help our students, and we as students, how do we actually find schools that are going to be the best fits for us? Here is the first question. For students and parents, who here, just a raising of your hands, who here would say that they are concerned about getting into a good college? Softball question, folks, easy question. When you start to think about it, whether you as students decide to move on to a great graduate school after you graduate from school, or you move on to an exceptional first-time career, folks, where you earn your undergraduate degree matters. Second question. Who here, students and parents, would say that they're a little nervous or scared around the college admissions process? Nervous or scared? Put up your hands. Here is my first secret. First secret around the college admissions process is that every student in this room, no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, can go to a competitive college, receive a well-recognized degree, receive an excellent education, and have a successful future. But to do that, it all depends on one thing, and this is the one thing that so many college-bound students and their families get wrong. They think about the college process as a game of winners and losers. You need to know that there is a better and a more enlightened way to think about the college process than a game of winners and losers. If you are truly willing to think differently about the college process, I am going to tell you two facts that you will hear nowhere else. The first fact is that it has never, ever been easier to get into college than it is today. The second fact is that it has never, ever been harder to get into college than it is today. Who is this guy? How can it both be easy and hard to get into college? It has never been easier to get into college today because there are over 3,500 four-year colleges in the US alone, but it has never been harder to get into college today because we are all applying to the same 25 schools. So Emily, we were talking about some schools that you were applying to. So just remind me of the 5 schools that you're applying to now.
They were University of New Haven.
Yep.
West Virginia University.
Okay.
Texas A&M.
All right.
Loyola of Chicago.
Okay.
And University of Tennessee.
Okay, but no Arizona schools?
No.
So how did you get your hit list together of these best fit schools?
I'm going for forensic science.
Okay.
So I looked at the schools that had an accredited program according to the Academy of Forensic Science.
Got it.
And there's only 15 schools in the country that have this accreditation, so I just kind of narrowed it down from there.
Very good, okay, all right. What is the 3 pieces of advice that any counselor would give a student? What are your top 3 things for any student athlete, doesn't matter who they are?
I would say where you want to live. So can you live there without being in college?
Very good. Yeah, no, that's a smart one. I like that one. I might steal that one, but yeah. Okay, so can you live there? Yeah,
yes. If you want a big school compared to a smaller school.
Campus size, yep. Yeah. Population overall, yep.
And let's see, the third one would be how far away you could be from your parents.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. What about distance from home? I mean, most kids are going 3 hours by car from home, and you'd be going a little further afield.
Well, the nice thing is that my grandparents live in Ohio, so if I do go back there, then it's far from home here, but I have them if I really need to get home sometime.
Very good, very good, yeah.
The distance does bother me a little bit, which is why I'm seriously looking at Texas.
Okay.
Just because it's the closest, or Chicago. They're the two closest.
Very good.
But I'm really, really looking for the program. That's the most important thing to me. So the rest of it, I'm just gonna kind of have to deal with. I've kind of figured.
All right, all right. Here's the thing. While those schools, some of those schools are going to be perfect fits for some students in this room, not every one of those schools is going to be a perfect fit for everyone. And when we start to think about it, we want to make sure that we're crafting our list of dream colleges, those schools that would make it onto our list, in the right way.
The Princeton Review and American Ed TV, the college experts. You're watching American Ed TV on Verizon Fios On Demand.
My favorite teacher was Eve Wiles, who had been a legal secretary and would have been a brilliant jurist or a judge. Just a brilliant woman and a wonderful teacher.
Fifth grade, there was one teacher who inspired me to read and was a great teacher. Her name was Miss Hopek. And maybe she's still around. Hi, Miss Hopek.
I had a seventh grade English teacher that pushed me to write more and better than I ever thought possible.
Allison Noonan, she was my women's studies teacher. So she was extraordinary in the way that she inspired children.
My favorite teacher of all time was the teacher I despised the most in high school, who basically told me he was going to give me an F in chemistry and there was no way out of it unless I did something extraordinary. It basically put me in a position to have to get out of the situation by my own wits. I never forgot that experience, and I've carried that with me.
It was Sister Leonardine at St. Anne's Catholic School. And believe it or not, because she was the one who had the highest expectations for us, she was probably also the meanest. But
my high school history teacher, this guy Raoul Meyer, still writes the history episodes for my show Crash Course.
My favorite teacher was a guy named Mr. Bono, because he was very passionate. He very inspiring. He was funny, and but he really pushed us and challenged us, and I like that.
My favorite teacher was Mrs. Corbett. She was my English teacher, and it's because she would always hide a quotation behind a screen, and she would lift it up and say, just start writing. And so we were introduced to some beautiful quotations, and we just had to figure out what we thought about something, and I always thought that was a great inspiration.
She was my fourth grade teacher, and I tweeted out, to Mrs. Riddick, I'm still trying to meet your expectations. She just pushed me, and she was that teacher that always would hand something back to me and say, you can do better than this. And that was, when you're in fourth grade, you don't realize how important that is to you long term, but it's very important to you.
My favorite teacher was a guy who ran a TV studio at our high school. We could actually make stuff that would go on cable, and it put me on this entire trajectory. So thank you, Mr. Sellinger at the Colonial Instructional TV Studio.
My favorite teacher was, it was a Catholic school that I went to for a while, Mother McDonald. She made history come alive.
Thank you for watching American Ed TV on Verizon Fios On Demand. To learn more, go to AmericanEdTV.com.